and devices are connected in different geographical area. Geographical area. Okay. Okay, this is about LAN and WAN. So if I will talk about LAN or WAN, like in diagram, so LAN, you can say if I have two sites, okay, and I am connected to other router, and this is a switch. This is my switch, and these are some PCs here. Okay, and suppose that range is 192.16.0.0.0/16 here. Okay, and this is other switch on other side. We can say this is site A and this is site B. So this PC, like there is also network about, you can say, like 172.32.0.0/16. Okay, so if I am talking about router to router connection, that is WAN connection. Okay, because both router in different geographical area. It can be like it can be your state, country, anything. Suppose that this router is in India, okay, and this router is in USA. And these, this is office area network. And this is also a office area network, USA office area network, and this is India office area network. So these are LAN because this is local area network. Okay. And if your router is, because your router can communicate in different network. Okay. So that is, you are communicating in different geographical area, India to USA. So that is, this is WAN. Okay. And if you are communicating in, in your office, like this PC to this PC, this PC to this PC, and in another branch there is one more branch, and there is more 2 3 PCs or like anything. So this is local area net. Okay. So do you have any question related to this? Okay, I think someone is not here. Okay, let me go. So I will save this. Okay. Yes, Ankesh. So do you have any question about LAN or WAN? I hope he is a network. He's having network problem.
Yes, Ashish, there's network problem, I guess, so I connected and disconnected automatically.
Yes, same happening with me too. Let me share again what's happening. Whiteboard. Okay, no problem. So do you have a question related to LAN or WAN? Anyone, Praveen?
No, sir. No.
Okay.
No, actually, I just want to know that first thing. Just a little bit, just silly question that I know that what is the router and what is the switch.
Okay.
First, you know the cross, and the second is switch. Yes, I want to know that.
Yeah,
What
this
is
is
router is.
router.
What is
This
the
is router
difference?
symbol and this is switch symbol. Okay. If I will say like this symbol, okay. Not this, I am making like this. Like if you will say like this symbol, like this. So that is router symbol. And if you will see
Mhm.
this symbol in your HLD or LLD diagram, so that is your switch symbol. And hub symbol is like that. Okay. It shows that
And
you can communicate only one way. You can communicate one way. Like hub is, you can say half duplex. So I will talk later
oh,
about what is half duplex, full duplex. Okay.
and what is the difference between the router and switch?
Okay,
That's
that's
any, yeah.
okay. So first, router and switch. Uh, so first one, yeah. So router is a layer 3 device. Layer 3 device. Layer 3 means it works on network layer. Okay. And router can communicate in different network. Different network. So different network like, okay. So if you have, suppose that I have here three router. This is router symbol. I have three router and this is serial link. Okay. This is serial link. This is serial cable, you can say. This bandwidth is 1.5 Mbps, like lowest bandwidth, 1.5 Mbps. Okay. So suppose that there is 10 network and there is 20 network. Okay. So router can communicate in different network, 10 to 20. But if I am talking about switch, layer 2 switch, so it cannot communicate directly in 20 network. Okay. This is first one, basic difference. Switch layer to switch cannot communicate in different network, but router can communicate in different network. Okay. We have some, exception like layer 3 switches. They can communicate. Layer 3 switches or you can say MLS switches, multi-layer switches, multi-layer switches. And symbol would be layer 3 switches like this. Okay. They can communicate in different network. So this is other part, but in basic, layer 2 switch cannot communicate in other network. Okay. It always it always work in LAN segment. A LAN segment means your local area network, like in your office. That they
Okay, means router is connected with switch, but switch not connected with router, no? You say
no, router and switch connected with each other. Okay.
each other. Okay.
Okay.
First, directly we can. Okay.
But directly switch cannot communicate in different network. Okay.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
needs
Okay.
help of router. Okay. Then next thing about router and switch, it is okay. So router choose best path for routing. Best path for routing. Okay. In router, we have like this router, okay? This is router, and I have multiple path. This is this multiple path. So which one is best path? It will choose. So first it will make RIP, RIP, routing information base. This is a table, RIP table, okay? Routing information base. RIP table, you can say RIP table. So this is first one path, this is second path, and this one is third path, and this one is fourth path. Okay. So in RIP table, it will put all four path. We have four path for destination. We have four path for destination. After adding four path, it will decide which one is shortest path. Which one is shortest. So it will router will make fib table. Fib is a forwarding information based table. Information base. Okay. So which one is okay? It choose four path. So suppose that this path is you can say RIP. This path is EIGRP using EIGRP protocol. This path is using OSPF protocol, and this path is using static routing. Simple. So it depends. First, it depend on AD value. Okay, RIP AD value is 110. Sorry, 120. Sorry. EIGRP AD value is 94 internal. OSPF 110, and static route has 1. So AD value, lowest AD value will be best path. So it will choose lowest AD value. So static is static routing. This is lowest. AD value is 1. So it will it will put this static route in fifth table. Then it will send data. Sorry, then it will send packet. Okay. So oh my god. It will send PKT. I will write PKT. Okay. So do you have any question about router now? Then I will go for switch.
No, Ashish. It's okay.
So what I said, router choose best path for routing. So what is routing? To communicate in different network.
Uh, Ashish, the static OSPF, EIGRP, and RIP, there is the medium to take a routing, or there's the what is this?
Uh,
Static routing means the medium,
okay,
no?
okay. RIP is a you can say medium. RIP is a protocol.
Yes, protocol.
Protocol is what? Protocol is set of rule. Protocol definition is set of rule. Okay. So this set of rule, how you will communicate to other device. Got my point? Because you need a
Yes.
rule to communicate with other person. If you are talking with me, so you need any communication. You have to know about language. Okay, Hindi, English, anything. Then you can communicate with me. Okay, so that is set of rule for communication. So you can say it's a language. It's type of language. It now this set of rule you can communicate to other device on layer 3. Okay, first it will make RIP table. Rib means routing information base, and there is 4 path. It will add because we have 4 path, 1, 2, 3, 4. For destination source to destination, we have 4 path. Then it will select which one is shortest path, because router always selects shortest path for routing. Routing means to communicate in different network or source to destination to communication. So then it will create fib table. Fib means forwarding information base. Okay, so forwarding information base, it's last table of router. It will choose best path and it will start sending packet using static routes. Okay, so now I will go for switch. So switch, basically I said you switch is a layer, it is layer 2 and layer 3 both are, but basically in layer 2 switch cannot perform routing. Not layer 2 switch, sorry. Layer 2 switch cannot perform routing. It can, it works on MAC addresses. Okay, okay, it works on MAC addresses. There we like suppose that this is layer 2 switch. Okay, symbol would be like that. So it cannot it cannot perform routing. No routing. Only work on MAC address. So what is MAC address? Anyone have idea about MAC address? Okay, so it is a organizationally unique device address. Unique address. Okay, every device has on MAC device has MAC address. Okay, and it is 48-bit long. 48-bit long, and you can say 6 byte. How 6 byte? Because if in 1 bit, sorry, in 1 byte, we have 8 bit. Okay, so in 48-bit, I will divide 48 by 8. So I think I will get 6 byte. Okay, that's why 6. So okay, layer 2 switch work on MAC addresses. It is 48-bit long, and it is organizationally unique address. Every device has MAC address. All layer 2 switches cannot perform routing. Layer 2 switches cannot perform routing. Then now I'm talking about layer 3. So layer 3, this is different type of switch. In layer 3, we have both functionality, routing and switching. It can perform both functionality. So I have a one question. If I have layer 3 switch, sorry, functionality. Mhm. So I have one question. if I have layer 3 switch, so why I don't buy a layer 3 switch instead of router? Why I am using router? Because there is both functionality, uh, routing and switching. Could you tell me?
Sorry, can you ask again, please?
Yeah,
What's your question?
suppose that, okay, we have one router, okay, and we have one switch, layer 3 switch. So router can perform only routing, okay, and
Okay.
layer 3 switch, L3 switch, it can perform routing and switching. So why we don't buy layer 3 switch? Why we need router? Uh,
Uh,
it's a normal question,
because about
not a technical question. Because first of all, layer 3 switch is costly. Okay. Second one, it cannot do all function of routing. It cannot do it cannot do sorry all routing uh okay. It cannot do all routing functions, and second one thing, and third one, um memory consumption. In layer 3 switch, memory consumption is high. So if I will use only layer 3 switch, I will not use router. So maybe it can be crash. Anytime it can be crash. So that's why we are not using a layer 3 switch instead of router, sorry. Okay. This is router and this is L3 switch. Okay. So now you got difference between router and switch, or I have to give you more information about that?
no, it's okay. Understand that.
Okay. So now I will go for my next slide. Okay. So this is all about router and switch. Now I will talk about uh, OSI model. Okay. So what is that? OSI is a open standard. Open standard interconnection. Full form. Okay. So my first question, why we need this model? For learning purpose. You will not see anywhere OSI model in real life. For learning purpose, we need OSI model. It gives you understanding. It gives understanding to a network engineer how actually devices are working in your in your domain. Okay. Okay. So OSI was developed by the International Organization for Standardization. International Organization for Standardization. Okay, ISO. It developed by ISO and introduced in 1980. Introduced in 1980. So, okay, for what is the purpose of OSI layer? OSI model? OSI model? What is the purpose of OSI model? For learning, only learning purpose. Like for reading, how device is working, how they are devices communicating with each other. Like if I'm talking about router, switch, and there is PC. So how they are communicating with each other? How they are communicating? So that is the purpose of OSI model. Because router work on layer 3, switch work on layer 2, PC work on layer 7. So how they are communication, and there is one more firewall. So there is two types of firewall. First one is your not two types. There is multiple types of firewall. But first one is like basic. We can say like we have next generation firewall, and there is normal firewall. So how they are working, how they are communicating with each other, and how they are making packets frame, how they are using IP addresses, MAC addresses, and which request, which type of packet they are sending to each other. Okay, for this purpose, they developed OSI model. Okay, so in it is a 7-layer architecture, 7-layered architecture. Okay, and which define how devices communicating with each other. How devices communicating with each other. Okay, so there is layer 7. First one is layer 7. This is application layer. Okay, then I have layer 6. This is, you can say, presentation layer. Now we have layer 5. This, sorry, layer 5. This is session layer. Now we have layer 4, transport layer. Now layer 3. Layer 3 is a network layer. And now I have layer 2, data link layer. And layer 1 is physical layer. Okay, so okay, so first three layer, these three layer, you can say this is user support layer, or software defined layer. Mostly as a like you can say L2 engineer doesn't work on this layer. Okay, software defined layer. And now I have, this is, core layer. Transport layer is core layer. No one take responsibility of this layer 4. Okay. Now I have physical data link and network. This is hardware layers and network engineer work on this layer. So you can say network support layer. Okay. So do you have any question related to this layer? Anyone?
Ashish ji, we are works in hardware support layer, na L1 engineer.
L1 engineer work on, okay, L1 engineer work on network layer 2 layer, and layer 1. Layer 1 mostly you will see, like you can say like who, join fiber like this, who is working on mostly on cables. Okay. In layer 2, there is switches. Layer 2 switches and layer 3 is router. Okay. If you are working in firewall, and sometimes we work on PC also. Okay, so PC work on layer 7, router work on layer 3, switch work on layer 2, and cable work on layer 1.
Layer 1.
Okay. So by the way, who is asking me question? Sorry.
Yeah, it's Praveen.
Okay, yeah, Praveen.